Wizards of the Coast has just released Magic the Gathering's first white bordered Planeswalker. Now this card is going to be extremely rare, and on the surface the situation looks pretty crazy. But once you dig deeper and figure out why this Planeswalker exists, you realize the true definition of crazy. Greetings! Owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. We are here to make a video that I never expected to make. I guess I'm making the video. We're here to enjoy it together. So, I never expected there to be a white bordered Planeswalker. I certainly never expected for there to be a white bordered Tibalt the Fiend Blooded. Now, you can see this on screen here. This is literally a picture of the card taken in real life, right? This is not like some sort of joke or what. I mean, actually, in a way, it kind of is a joke, but this is not a hoax. This is a real card. Tibalt was actually created in the Innistrad block, if my memory is serving correctly. So Tibalt the Fiend Blooded is 2 red for a Planeswalker that +1 loyalty, gives it draw a card, then discard a card at random. -4 loyalty. Tibalt the Fiend Blooded deals damage equal to the number of cards in target player's hand to that player. And -6, gain control of all creatures until end of turn. Untap them. They gain haste until end of turn. Now, Tibbleteer actually has the misfortune of being branded as essentially the worst Planeswalker card ever made in Magic the Gathering. Now, you could try and argue that some of the Planeswalker deck, Planeswalker variations are pretty weak, but universally, this is considered to be the most garbage Planeswalker in existence. And yet, here we have a reprint in white border. What is even going on here, right? Well, this is actually a secret Lair Tibalt, okay? So if you weren't aware, Wizards of the Coast decided to create a meme secret Lair. That's actually what this Tibalt is going to come in, okay? Now, when I said these cards are super rare, I meant it. This meme secret Lair is actually really cool from the perspective of how Wizards is treating LGSs, okay? Because LGSs are being given these meme secret Lairs absolutely free of charge. There is no cost to them. It's a really cool move considering that secret Lairs in some ways kind of step on LGS's toes because it's Wizards getting into selling singles directly, and normally Wizards would just sell you sealed randomized products. So it's a way to give the LGS something they can appreciate. And because Wizards of the Coast went ahead and made these meme Lairs incredibly rare, it actually gives some value. People are going to buy these from the stores that are willing to give them up. So to give you an idea of how rare these are going to be, there's only one of these Tibalts in each of these secret Lairs. Now, these secret Lairs are being sent out to LGSs only, all right? Now, as far as I understand, these numbers may not be 100% accurate, but they are a fair, rough approximation. They may have decreased because of what's gone on in the world and LGS is closing. But for simplicity, we're going to say that there's roughly about 3,000 LGSs in existence, okay? The way these secret Lairs are given out, there are 2 tiers: regular shops and premier stores. Now, premier stores are the big stores in gigantic like metro locations or other places where you have a ton of people coming through, like a ton of people. So as a result, these stores fire off way more events, they have way more people coming through. Essentially, these premier stores account for about 5% of all LGSs, right? They're the top 5%. So when you break down the distribution of these secret Lairs, it goes like this. If you're a regular LGS, you're going to get 1 copy of this meme Lair. If you're a premium LGS, you're going to get 5 copies of this. So when you break that down based off 3,000 LGSs and 5% of those being premium, you're looking at roughly 3,500, more like 3,600 secret Lairs, but about 3,500 for simplicity's sake is the number of these secret Lairs to start with. That means there are less than 4,000 of this Tibalt in existence, right? That's it. Now, that's going to make the competition for these very, very fierce in a lot of places. Yes, they're joke memes, but these are super scarce products, right? Like this is something, like I said, you're only gonna get one per store. Now compounding that is the fact that a lot of LGSs are passion projects. And what do I mean by that? I mean, a lot of people who own LGSs are awesome gamer individuals who are like, bro, I love Magic and playing games so much, I'm going to open my own game store, right? So they play Magic. And if they play Magic, what does that mean? They collect Magic. And they're getting sent something super, super rare that it didn't cost them any money, so they don't have to recover any costs on it. And secondly, they really like Magic. So how many of these secret lairs are going to end up in the hands of the LGS and be like, no, I'm keeping this. This is mine. There's only going to be one. They're never doing this again. I'm not going to sell it, right? So this actually, it's kind of like the From the Vault scenario, which I like, because the From the Vaults that they created, the idea behind that from Wizards was, we're going to create these products that LGSs can sell for a much higher inflated price. They did run into some problems, because how it worked was, Wizards had to provide the distributors with an MSRP, and then the distributors would determine the end cost of the product based on that MSRP. So for example, the From the Vaults were set with an MSRP of $35, but that literally was only created so that stores would be able to buy these From the Vaults cheaply from the distributors. It was not intended to be the actual suggested retail price of the product. So there was a problem for some stores where they listed these From the Vaults at $100 and people got all angry going, the MSRP is supposed to be 35 bucks, but really it was a whole workaround where Wizards was trying to find a way to just give the stores a nice little boost, something they can sell for a bit more money. They did something really nice with the mystery boosters as well, but regardless, you have this scenario now with the secret lairs where either the store owners are going to get to keep those for themselves, or they're going to be able to sell that secret lair for a decent amount of money, depending on where they are. I mean, I guess if you're in like a small town and nobody really cares about it, it might be harder to move, but even then, they could theoretically just sell it online. So this is a nice reward in that regard, right? Like the fact that this is a white bordered Planeswalker is really interesting. This card actually, to my mind, greatly increases the value of the secret lair, because the secret lair is full of meme cards. And by meme cards, I mean the absolute worst cards. Now, the craziest part is the reason why this Tibalt had to be created in the first place. You can tell this is a very last minute thing because this doesn't have any alternate art. Each of the other cards in the meme secret lair are all basically, let's take a garbage Magic card that's already a meme, like Stormcrow. Stormcrow is 1 blue and 1 for a 1/2 flyer with no abilities, right? That's the same cost as a Time Walk in terms of mana, and you get a 1/2, and that's it. It's just garbage, right? So they went ahead and go, we're gonna put ridiculous new artwork on these cards and make them seem all slick, and we're gonna make a big joke out of it. We're gonna take our worst cards and give them a premium treatment with alternate art. Like, the idea behind the meme secret lair is amazing. It's a lot of fun. It's very playful. I'm really happy to see it. But Wizards ran into a huge, unexpected, essentially most likely unforeseeable problem for them. And that actually came from one of the artists that was involved with the secret lair. One of the artists involved with the secret lair started to have some real problems in life because of their own actions. But it's taken a step further because this artist had produced a card for the secret lair that was a depiction of themselves. So to make sure you're on the same page as me, I'm gonna put it up on the screen right now. So this is a card done by the artist Noah Bradley, who also is the subject of the card. So in the artwork, he's painted himself, all like, yeah, check me out kind of style, right? It's got that kind of like my chest vibe, right? So when we saw this, it's like, hey, that's fun. How cool is it to get to immortalize yourself on a Magic card and have that go out there? I thought conceptually that was pretty neat. The other cards in the secret lair were like whatever, but this is Squire, right? Squire's even worse than Stormcrow. You pay 2 mana for a 1/2 with no abilities. I was playing when Squire came out and we were all just like, garbage. Like, I guess the idea behind it's supposed to be like, look, you know, he's kind of like a knight, but he's a squire now, so he's got to be a 1/2 instead of a 2/2. And it's like, oh, what are you doing? This is awful. But anyways, the idea of being commissioned to paint an awful card and then make yourself like, he makes himself look so like beefy boy in the artwork, right? Which would be fine if what happened didn't happen, where basically he came out and made an announcement because his past had caught up with him. And I'm not going to say specifically what he said because that language is frowned upon on YouTube. But let's just say he let his hands wander onto other people and stuff like that when he shouldn't have. That's the simplest way to put it, right? So it's that kind of a scenario where he's come out and said, I have done these like awful things, and like it's his own words. It wasn't one of these scenarios where other people were pointing fingers and he got railroaded. Like, from his own admission, he is guilty of what he's accused of, sort of thing. And I'm not going to go into that. You can look those details up. But regardless, somebody who's known for being handsy and all this sort of thing, like depicting himself in a check out how attractive I am, ladies and dudes kind of way. Like, not only just having his artwork in their products is one thing, but having a self-depiction of him in the style that like actually fits into the problem, you know what I mean? It's like if somebody got caught for being a criminal who was like running over people and just like, he's got crazy sneakers and he runs over people and he stomps them and they don't live anymore. And then Wizards of the Coast like released a painting that guy had done of himself stomping on people, thinking like, hey, check it out, I'm the Shivan Stomper or whatever. Like, isn't that great on a card? Meanwhile, like after the card's been produced, but before it gets released, he comes out, he's like, I have to admit, I am a stomper. I've stomped multiple people. They no longer are alive. And then they're just like, oh no, we're going to release a card with him stomping on it. This is a nightmare. We need something quick to replace this. That's the scenario that led to this white-bordered Tibalt. They were just like, oh God, we need something to put in this meme. This is not a joke anymore. It just got real unfunny, real fast. But just that, the layers to this story of why Magic has the first white border Planeswalker, where they're just like, oh, we don't have enough time, we can't commission new artwork. Just, you know what, Tibblete's a joke, everybody thinks he sucks, make him white bordered because people hate white borders too. That's a meme too. If you're not new to Magic, you'll know. But if you're new to Magic, you don't know. White borders to you may be, ooh, wow, that's different. But like yesterday, I talked about how we didn't like white borders back in the day. And to really sum it up in an easy way, one of the biggest problems with white borders, and that doesn't matter anymore because everyone uses perfect fits and sleeves. I got mine quadruple sleeved and I got it in a Ziploc bag and it's taped to the wall so it can't get hurt. Like, that's the level people protect their cards to now. But back in the day, we just played with cards, just touched them with our human greasy fingers. You ever seen the gank that builds up on card sleeves? That builds up on cards too, and it stands out on white borders. So white borders, they look like garbage when they get all dirty, and white borders were always for the reprint cards. Essentially, the poverty class. Oh, you can't afford the $40 Legends version of this dragon. You have to use the 50-cent white bordered Chronicle version. You're poor and you suck. So that kind of stigma was also attached to white borders. So bringing back the worst Planeswalker and giving it the worst borders is definitely a pretty good meme on short notice. After Stompy McGee did his stomping, you gotta do what you gotta do. So for me, this is interesting on multiple levels and definitely was worth talking about. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below, my friends. If you like what I'm doing here, like, comment, and subscribe. It's all great for the channel. If you love what I'm doing, hop on my Patreon. And if you want a little bit of extra fun, tonight, depending on how things go, Carly's gonna take a clipper. She's gonna take a clipper to all my glorious hair. So if you want to see my hair get butchered, possibly tonight, come on by to the live stream. Either way, me and my ridiculous hat are heading on up out of here. I will see all of you tomorrow.